It is my belief that we all have a yearning. Maybe it's from our current lifetime, or perhaps it is the residue from the unresolved pursuits of our ancestors that still live within us. The remnants of those ancestors are all around me, here in Ishim Uleu, which means the land of corn, referred to today as Guatemala, the place that created me. Only a tiny fraction of their glory has been uncovered archaeologically, yet the essence of their spirituality still pulses as a heartbeat that now multiplies from its ancient roots. We, their descendants, plant seeds in the same places where the bullet holes still bleed, in every open wound of our past. And even though those seeds, as they grow through the generations, may appear different from those of the past, our spiritual elders teach that it is not our place to judge the appearance the seeds grow to be, because the ukush, or the central essence, the spiritual DNA, is the same. That spiritual DNA lives on in us, no matter where we go. I understand that many people are traumatized by organized religions, leading them to often overcompensate and abandon the notion of God entirely. I was close to becoming one of those people. Certainly, we must hold religion accountable for the brutality of colonization. Yet, let us not misconstrue our efforts to decolonize our minds with turning away from divinity entirely, because it is inherently colonial to turn away from the concept of a higher power and creator, especially when considering the profound importance of God in the deeply woven spiritual fiber of the Maya culture and of indigenous people worldwide. Their fervent relationship with nature, their bodies, the earth, its spirits, and their innate comprehension of the interconnectedness of all things exemplifies their devotion to their creator and divinity. Their seeds grow within us and take many different forms, yet they all lead us back to the same roots of who we are and have always been. The ancient Maya survived even through the incomprehensible savagery of the Spanish Inquisition, yet many are unaware of the additional ruthless genocide that ravaged Ishim Uleu as recently as the late 90s, where nearly 200,000 indigenous Maya people were murdered. This was a time of aggressive eradication of traditional Maya culture, forbidding the speaking of Mayan languages, indigenous music, traditional clothing, and especially banning their native spiritual practices and the use of the sacred Maya calendar, resurfacing the same tactical lies of the conquistadors by drumming up religious hysteria and accusing the Maya of satanic witchcraft and diminishing and mischaracterizing their sacred practices as devil worship. This is why so many people have lost or become disconnected from their cultures. The legacy of colonization has created the diasporic world we live in today like a poison upon the soil. It may have strangled the blossoms on the surface, but it can never reach the roots beneath. Even though continuing their traditions could literally implicate life or death and extreme discrimination, many indigenous people kept the seeds of their faith alive in privacy or watering them in secret, and nurturing a beneath-the-surface network of believers and spiritual elders, preserving the traditions of ceremony, song, histories, sacred text, language, healing practices, medicinal plants, midwifery, divination, weaving, and so much more. Because of this radical act of preservation, only a couple of decades after the Guatemalan genocide, the Maya cosmovision is growing and flourishing, and its wisdom and power has made profound impact on many foreigners as well, as it continues to rise again and be reborn into new generations, just as the feathered serpent sheds its skin to be reborn anew. It exists today as an ongoing resistance and indigenous rebellion. Its practitioners are active revolutionists against the lasting grips of religious colonization that still stain the ever-modernizing landscape of today's Guatemala. They take to the streets to protest for the return of stolen land, to stand up for their murdered loved ones who are still frequently killed by police or religious zealots who target their spiritual elders. But they also protest in the privacy of their homes, every time they hold spiritual ceremony, proudly wearing their traditional textiles, speaking their beautiful, expressive languages, and quietly holding sacred the traditions of the ancestors, while loudly holding the government accountable for its crimes. We are our ancestors, an accumulation of all their stories, each written one that was burned, each oral one that was forbidden, and each hieroglyphic story carved on stone temple walls. Therefore, if you are your ancestors, how can you ever truly know yourself if you do not get to know them? This is the journey I have embarked on, tracing my own roots down to their divine origin and to their spiritual DNA. This is a sacred pilgrimage into the indigenous Maya cosmovision of Ishim Uleu. Uts epitik and welcome.